Hello friends, it's the Stitches. Today I have for you a fully filled sketchbook. Oh yeah, so I thought I would take you guys through it, flip through, show you what I've been working on, my progress, and I think I've actually grown quite a bit in this sketchbook. I think the progression will be quite nice to look at. So this is a Strathmore mixed media sketchbook that I've kind of put a wash of pink acrylic over because it's cuter that way. But in the front I have all of my swatches, so these are all the colors that I had available to me when I used this sketchbook. You'll notice some of them are crossed out. Those are markers that have dried out. All of my Artist Loft markers are unfortunately not really replaceable unless I just go and buy a new pen, and I'm not really willing to do that because they're not that great and I'd rather just buy Copics, which every piece on a Copic can be replaced if it breaks down for much cheaper. So I just like them much better, and if I use up a color in the Artist Loft, it's usually a good sign that I should invest in a Copic in that color. In between this sketchbook and the last sketchbook, I did a massive declutter of my color pencils because I had every color pencil I had ever bought since high school still, and I didn't use half the colors, and it made it really uninspiring to use the color pencils. So I just kept all the good colors, and so now this is my decluttered collection of color pencils, and I honestly use them so much more than I ever did before because I only have the good colors left, and it's really inspiring to look at it and be like, ooh, pretty colors. So our first spread is just a couple little ladies. This one is, I think, the earliest piece in here. Just got a little cell phone. I don't really have much to say about the older pieces because I don't really remember a lot about my headspace when I was making it. So in this sketchbook, I do a lot of cover-ups. These are really nice. This is really nice paper. I like this sketchbook, but I also kind of hate this sketchbook because if you use the Copics, which is like my main sketching marker, it bleeds through onto the other side and thus ruins this piece of paper. So I did a lot of cover-ups. Basically every page has a cover-up on the back of it because the Copics just bled through, and that's just how it was. And then I just wanted to make like a little space bun but with an afro. I just thought that the idea of that was really cute, so I drew this girl. I don't really like how she came out texture-wise, especially with the skin. I'm not that great at doing other skin tones yet, but I'm working on it. And then I was doing some experimentation with some highlighters. This is like an erasable highlighter that I have. I just think that the really washed out pastel of them is really cute, but I didn't really experiment with it further on. I don't really have much to say about this page because I don't think either of these turned out very well, especially trying to use color pencil. This is just straight up color pencil. There isn't any marker or anything here, and it didn't work very well on top of the acrylic. And this is also mostly Prismacolor, but I think I was really rushed when I made it because I don't like how it turned out. But I do like the very Patrick inspired shirt. So this is from a speed paint that I did quite a bit ago. This is from October 2018, so that was a while ago. But maybe I'll put it over here. And I also matched the color scheme over here in this very like 80s Memphis group. This is about the time that I was putting together my Memphis group lookbook, and I was just feeling very inspired by the aesthetic. This is a watercolor piece. I haven't worked with watercolor in a long time. I should probably do that. I really like this girl. If you follow me on Instagram, you're probably familiar with her. This is another spread that I'm just not very happy with. I don't like the color scheme. I don't like I was experimenting with like white line work and it didn't work out. I didn't like it. It's bad. Here's another girl I did a speed paint of. She's wearing a Lazy Oaf inspired dress that I cannot afford because it's always sold secondhand for really inflated prices. But maybe one day I'll find one that's being sold for not crazy expensive. And then some just experimentation with mouths. This is around the time where I was starting to figure out how I wanted to draw open mouths in this style and talking mouths in this style. And on this spread, I was really just playing around with different textures, different ways of mixing my mediums together to get different effects. I kind of like this little color gradient, although it didn't really do what I was wanting it to do at the time. And this is just a pencil sketch. I don't normally do just solid plain pencil sketches, and I think I actually, I outlined this with a pen, because that's how much I do plain pencil. Some more just playing around with texture. Here you can see some bleed through, like on this page. You can see some of the green from this. This is just like the lightest little stroke of the Copic, and even that was enough to make it bleed through. So if you're a Copics-based artist, I really don't recommend the Strathmore, but I like the surface of the paper a lot. Some playing around with color scheme. So I had just a green and yellow theme here. She's got some sort of little mohawk that's dyed 2 different colors. And this is when we get to January 2019. And next we just have some little doodles and some sketches. I just kind of tried to practice putting together different compositions on these pages since I couldn't really do full pieces on them. And here are some different talking faces and some different expressions. I think my favorite on this page is this girl. I think she turned out really good. But some more playing with color schemes. I think this is the head I was working on, where my Robin's Egg blue marker ran dry. You can see how there's like, the blue just doesn't extend down here at all. I've since gotten a refill, but I haven't gone back in to fill this in. I might do that. But this is what that marker is supposed to look like. Yeah, just some more practicing with open mouths. When I get to practicing a certain technique, I tend to like fixate on it for a few weeks, just until I get it exactly how I want it. And it looks like we've moved on to a pink color scheme. I really liked this face. This is when I first started to flip out the hair a little bit. And just some different figure drawings. I did a lot of figure drawings in this, and you'll see even more of them as we go along. But yeah, lots of nudes in this sketchbook. A little straub. Little cute things. And in our next spread we have my honey bun drawing that I did a Copic marker demo with. And I showed how to use the markers as like paint almost. And then on here we just have another soft girl with some acid green hair and a little slip dress. I really like this. I think this is one of my favorite figures from this. Like my favorite outfit, I think. She just turned out really cute. I might do like a big painting of her. And then we have a couple laying down poses, and I put Sleepy Girl because she's tired. Yeah, I was just really feeling the simplicity of this page. And then we have a couple more figures from my other sketchbook. This model on Postspace was really giving me like RuPaul vibes, so I put some lyrics from that episode where RuPaul was in Broad City. And And then we have the art that I made for Cora for the alternative fashion for sustainability, sustainable alternative fashion. I'll put it on the screen. There's like a Instagram and Facebook page, all of that. And here I have some more figures. These are from April, and you can really start to see like the progression of how I started to get more comfortable with my figure drawing. Like just from these to like this, just like going from this to this. And I think this is from around January and this is April, so that's just 4 months of regularly doing figure sketches, and that's how much I improved in that space of time. And here's another little spread. I was really feeling the emotionality of this color scheme, and I just had this idea in my head of the like Cry Me a River saying, so I made this like drippy pastel river. I don't know. I kind of also just wanted to practice like this type of stuff. I thought it was really cool. I'm not super satisfied with this drawing simply because my white pen kind of failed me and it absorbed way too much blue, so it doesn't really look that much like a constellation anymore. But yeah, I had just had another idea of like a constellation in both the hair and the dress. And here's just a little simple spread. Just some little heads, some cherries. And this might look familiar if you've been watching my more recent episodes, although my pen broke in the middle of making it, so I had to do some like very sad Photoshop to fix it. And I'm not super pleased with how it turned out, but it gets the job done. And then I really like this figure. Just some composition practice. And some speed drill faces. I like to do these little speed drills where I just draw as many faces as I can in a certain amount of time. It sort of like just gives you a better feel for what you're drawing and sort of like puts it in your muscle memory. And here we have a couple minimal pieces. I have another spread like this, but I think this one is my favorite of the two that I did. This is my pal Pukey Kiss from Instagram, and this is Astro Puke from Instagram. I just liked that they both have puke in their name. But I used this very minimal, like dark blue and light pink and white color scheme to draw them. And I really like how they turned out. Yeah. Here we have my Earth Day spread. And I just have a couple little drawings in here, a little value sketch, and some hand studies. I've just started doing hand studies this year, and it's changing my life. This is another figure that I was really, really pleased with. I liked especially just her expression. She has a really cute face, and then I thought I did a really good job on the proportions. She just looks very realistic, but also cartoony at the same time, and that's kind of what I'm going for. Yeah, I like her. And then over here we have some more practice with darker skin tones and doing my best. She's got really, really rosy cheeks. And then just another little couple small drawings from my other sketchbook, just practicing font again, and some more dripping art. I think this was actually done before the like Cry Me a River piece. And then I have my other spread. This is Ellie Medhurst and Lindsay Bluebird, but the colors on this was dark purple and light pink. I wasn't super happy with how the face on Ellie turned out, but I love her stuff, and she's got her Lucy and Yak overalls on. And then Lindsay is in a Lazy Oaf dress, but I kind of took some artistic liberty with it. And in my last sketchbook, I did a lot of pages like this where I filled it in with some stickers that I've gotten and just like loose little things that I don't want to lose, but I also don't want to have everywhere. So I put them in sketchbooks to like save them. This is mostly like all of these are stuff that I got at the Olympia Zine Fest, and then I have a little fortune cookie fortune, and this is from Fantasy Club. I think it's supposed to be based off of the whole album art for Live Through This, the Live Through This album, which is a pretty decent album, I will say. And then just some more talking mouths. This is when I really started to get happy with how I was drawing the speaking version of my little heart-shaped mouths. And some more just... The last page I did all blue hair, so this page I did all like this lemon colored hair, but all their mouths are closed. And then I have these sort of side profile practice drawings that I did. And then some foot studies. I admittedly am really bad at doing foot studies, and I almost never do foot studies because I hate drawing feet so much. But, the only way you can get better at it is practicing, unfortunately. And some more hand studies. I used to hate hand and foot studies equally, but I've gotten a lot better at hands, so I'm not super, like, upset with doing hand studies anymore. But I feel like I haven't gotten that much better at drawing feet. So I still just never do foot studies. But this was a really good face. Let's look at this good face. She has heart-shaped freckles. And my next spread is just a couple larger figures that I did. These were some warm-up sketches, so they're not quite as detailed as my others. But this one was really challenging for me, but I think she turned out all right. And then this is from my most recent art speed paint video where I just drew some fruit, didn't even talk, just drew. And I really liked the vibe of that video, but nobody watched it. So I hope the people that did watch it liked it, and maybe go watch it. But I really like how the font on this one turned out. I did it with a few different layers of different materials, and I really thought that it looked good. It's like really loose, but nice. And then some more value work. With some art skills, if you don't use it, you lose it, so you gotta just keep doing it regularly. And then a little sunshine drawing. I think one of my markers dried out in the middle of this, so I don't remember if I actually finished it or not. But there she is. And then I also, this is another one of my favorite figures from this. This was also really, really challenging for me to do, but I think it really turned out nicely. She's kind of skinny, but the model was also even skinnier, so what you doing, Postbase? And then I think this was my most successful dark skin tone in this, but she's still really patchy. I think that might be the marker. Some more figures. You can see I'm really starting to get comfortable with them now. I think these are also like some of the later in the day ones that I did. I like her foot. It turned out really nice. And then another, I don't know what happened with the proportions of this one, but she just looks really short compared to like my other figures. She's just She is short but fierce and she's ready to go. And another value, and hand study. And some more faces. This one is really patchy. I don't know what is going on there. I really gotta practice my dark skin tones, man. I'm also not that pleased with her hair, to be honest. I mean, I was gonna say that her hair turned out cool, but like, did it? Did it? And some more poses. And just some flowers. Every spring I get really inspired to draw flowers, but I also kind of suck at drawing flowers. But that's what sketchbooks are for, I guess. I think these two, this one and this one, were my favorites from this page. Probably mostly this one. And then we have yet another figure taped in. And this is just a little piece with some crystals, and it says need to recharge in some cursive because I wanted to practice fonts. And here we have some more face studies. I really like this style of doing face studies because, I don't know, I usually start with like the jawline when I'm drawing, so I think being able to put the expression in the face first before I plan the rest of the drawing allows the face to be more expressive. But then when I draw full bodies and start with the face, like the head never starts out being where it should be and then it throws off the rest of the drawing, so I don't know. Just doing both in different times for different reasons. I like this one. She was good. And then this is my last really big piece in this, and I really like this. I think I do want to do a full piece like this. I have another painting that's almost exactly like this, but I am working on a series, so I think they'll just be series sisters. And then my one last super challenging figure sketch. I am also not super happy with how it turned out, but the fact that it turned out this good is probably a small accomplishment. So I will take it as a win. And I've also started doing this in my sketchbooks now at the end of the sketchbook. I want to, in the next sketchbook, I want to put in the beginning with my swatches, I want to put like some goals for some things that I want to work on. And then at the end, I reflect on things that challenged me, things that I thought I did good. This one is very vague and that's purposeful, but I think it's just good to really look back and just appreciate the growth when it happens, because you don't always get to see super visible growth in your artwork, but when you do see it, it's like worth celebrating. So there's that. I know this video is probably horrifically long, but I hope you're all still here. I hope you enjoyed this. I hope you felt inspired by this. If you're an artist, I hope that this pushes you to maybe think about pushing yourself a little bit more. And I hope everybody has a good day, and I will see you all next time. Bye!